So it's been a while that I haven't released a word, and I just felt in my spirit that I knew that this information that I received last night from God was something that He wanted me to share. So in the middle of my dream, I had a vision of a woman. She was standing outside, a white lady with dark hair, and she had a mask on, or she put a mask on, and she was surrounded by like fumes in the air. How I could see the fumes, I can't explain, but I knew that there were fumes in the air and it was really bad, and she was kind of looking around, and she then put this mask on, and that was the end of the vision. I knew in that moment that God was speaking to me about some prophetic words that I had released previously that was speaking about the new waves of sicknesses and diseases that will be coming in replica to what happened in 2020, but worse. And then as I prayed over it and I spoke to God about it, He helped me understand that it was oxygen. Oxygen was the thing that was going to cause the death. Oxygen was lack of oxygen was the thing that was going to cause the sickness. The lack of oxygen was the thing that was going to cause the death. That was going to cause the illness to become life-threatening. So then my next thought was, okay, well, how do we fix that? How can we prepare for that? If I'm releasing a word and I'm telling God's people, this is what the Lord is saying, then how do I warn you how to plan and how to prepare? Because that's what a prophet does. We edify, we comfort, we teach. So the best thing to understand is to know that any type of food that's in your diet that steals oxygen from your body, like processed foods, anything that's bleached, white bread, white rice, white sugar, or to be honest, any highly acidic foods, like, cane sugar and stuff like that. Wheat, dairy, and when I say wheat, I'm not speaking of natural grains like spelt and rye. Not all gluten is equal. I'm speaking about, the man-made wheat that we get in most processed breads and biscuits, cookies, whatever. So the less we eat of the foods that steal oxygen from our body, because that's what those types of foods do, they actually take oxygen away from us. The less we eat of those types of foods, then the less our body is fighting for oxygen. The more we get out in oxygen, the more we get out in fresh air, the more we're outside, the more we're taking in air into our lungs and breathing correctly and being out in the sun if possible, depending on where you are in the world. And it doesn't have to be hot, it just needs to be sunlight. The more our brain and our heart and our lungs are being fed, the more we can connect with nature, and any herbs that you could take to help, like sea moss and mullein leaf and all of the natural things that help to reduce mucus in your body, but also in the lung itself. All of these things can help you to not just retain oxygen, but also to take in more oxygen and not to have it stolen from you, or not to have it blocking your lungs. Because even if you're getting all the oxygen in the world, if you're filled with mucus, then you're just blocked. So We want to get rid of swelling, we want to get rid of mucus, we want to get rid of inflammation, and we want to get outside. And even though the threat is outside, if we are protecting our immune systems and we're protecting our bodies and we're protecting our minds and we're praying and we're fasting when needed, because we're going to have to learn to fast. Sometimes putting too much food in the body is also going to just clog the body and the mind. So sometimes we need to be, whether it's prayer and fasting, intermittent fasting for health, whatever it is, fasting needs to be a part of your life now. This is now a lifestyle. This is no longer a fad or a thing or a trend. It needs to be a part of your lifestyle for future survival. So as long as we're doing these things, then we're more in alignment. We're more in alignment with God and with where He's taking us, taking His children. And I pray in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach that your family, that your children, that your children's children are well, that you're blessed and that you're highly favored. And as long as you're in alignment with the Lord, no matter what is happening in the world, you are protected. You are surrounded by a host of heaven's armies. You are covered in the blood, the dam of Yeshua. And no harm can come against you because there are more for you than against you. God planned everything, and everything that is happening around Him, whether for us or against us, He has to allow. So know that He has a plan for your life, and I pray that you are in your Goshen. In Jesus' name, peace and shalom.